There is this information about the monthly payment from the government. Some people don't understand it. Some people get confused. And they get confused because there is the concept of stimulus and there is the concept of child tax credit. These are two things which are confusing people. And I want to give clarification today on what we call the monthly check payment to the individuals or to the taxpayers, and obviously who qualifies it, and how is that going to be handled by the government. And I'll let you know whether this is something new or whether this is not something new, and whether it's something good or it's not something good. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo EBM, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. If today is your first time to come to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. So, let's talk about money, because that is one of the key things people need to pay attention, especially when there are some of the changes in the law, and those changes have impact into your money, either to pay to the government or either to receive from the government. And how does that work? For people who do not understand, and especially some people who don't have children, they might not know this. When you are doing the annual tax filing, so from January to December 2020, the year was over. Then, beginning of 2021, you are supposed to file the tax from January to April 15, but usually they extend because of the pandemic and other reasons, so that's why. But basically, up to middle of April, that is the end of the tax time for you to apply or to file for the tax. But many people are considering tax return, because in the end, majority of people, not all, they usually get a certain amount from the federal government through the taxing, or sometimes you can also get from the state, but depending on how you do your W4, the deductions you are going to do when you are employee, for instance, and then how does that is going to determine how much either you have to pay the government or the government has to pay you in those kind of situations. So for the people with the family, children I'm talking about, we usually say they don't pay much of the tax because each child is given a special amount as credit. During the Obama's administration, the tax child credit was about 1,000 per child. That means technically you are given 1,000, but it will depend how much you pay the tax and how much, either they will give you the full 1,000 or it can get 900. There will be some numbers have to be run around there. Trump administration, they extended or they increased it to 2,000 per child. The child credit has been increased. But recently, most recently, the stimulus payment or the stimulus package which was passed by the Congress had one of the item which is called the monthly payment. So people assuming, majority of people, oh, now we'll be getting the money each month, we'll be getting paid. No, not everybody will be getting paid. What is going to happen is, so they have increased the amount of the child tax credit. So it used to be 2,000 up to 2020. So the tax return we filed for this January up to April or whatever the extension was, for per child you get 2,000. So now a child who is 5 years old and above, you are going to get 3,000. And the child who is under the age of 5 is going to be 3,500. So, usual is I'm supposed to, from January to December, when I'm going to file for next year in 2023 and 2022 for the year which is ended in 2021 in December, I was supposed to, you'll be supposed to get 3,000 per child instead of 2,000. What the government is going to change is how you are going to get paid that amount. So instead of waiting to give you at the next year, when you're going to file the full 3,000 per child, if your child, let's say, is 5 years old and above, what they're going to do is, if let's say you have one child, so from who is above the age of 5, so from January to June, this is half of the year. So if you have a child within the first 6 months, then from July to December, they will give half of the year of accumulated child credit, which is a half of 3,000 if you have a child of more than 5 and above. But they're not going to give you 1,500 as one lump sum, like how we usually do in the tax return. We give all as one check. But this time, what they are going to do, they are going to take the half of the tax credit which you have accumulated from January to June. They will be paying you on the monthly basis from July to December. So take 3,000 if you have a child who is above the age of 5 and above. So you take that child is 3,000 divided by 2, you get 1,500. So that 1,500 divide it by 6, which will come to get about 250. So from July to December, because you have accumulated half of the year, you'll be getting July to December. So each month you'll be getting $250 up to December. And then the remaining of 1,500 for one child, because it's 3,000, that one will be given, which you are going to accumulate from July to December, you are going to be given when you are going to file the tax next year. So I don't know if you'll be able to get me. Because you might have a child, let's say, you have a child maybe January up to June. Maybe if the child dies, I'm not saying that. That means from July to December you cannot accumulate the child credit. So the child credit is available from January to June. When you accumulate that time, you have a child, that money will be given. You already know, the government knows that you have been having the child. You'll be paying from July to December. And the amount from July to December, which you're going to accumulate, you're going to be paid in the tax return time. And that will be the remaining 1,500, and that will be in a lump sum. So that's number one. If you have one child or two children under the age of 5, or one child under the age of 5, is the 3,500. Let me give my case. My case, I have 3 children. 2 children are 5 and above. One child is under the age of 5. To be exactly, has just turned 2 today. So that means I'll be getting 6,000 for 2 children and 3,500 for one child. So it will be 9,500 in a year. So that's how it is. So the government is not going to give you all at once. So for each child, you have been able to see if the child is under the age of 5, I get 3,500. So basically, if I divide by 2, is 1,800, and for one child of under the age of 5, I'll be able to get about 300 per month from July to December. So because I have 3 children, the one child I'll be getting 300 from July to December, and then I have 2 children 5 and above, I'll be getting 250 for each child. So for 2, it will be 500, and 300 will be 800. So I'll be getting paid 800 per month from July to December. And then the remaining amount, which will be 4,800, whatever it is, I'll be given as a lump sum when I file the tax return next year. Personal, I like this new system. Instead of waiting the full tax return, you are struggling for the full year, you are waiting for the tax return, and sometimes when you are poor or you don't have enough money, when you get that money at once, you have maybe behind the credit, whatever, you have already destroyed your credit score, or you didn't pay for your mortgage, or you didn't pay for something, then the whole money is going to pay something, but already you have destroyed some of the credit or something else. But with this one, you know for sure, January to June, you can do whatever thing. So from July to December, you know for sure, for instance, for my case, I know I'll be getting 800 almost coming, I can say, let me get something, I can go and make into use. Maybe this 800, I'm not touching it. It will be going direct to the mortgage, I'm going to pay extra. Or if you have a vehicle or auto loan, it can go there. Or if you have something you want to invest on, major innovation in your house or into something, you can be able to do that. So it helps a lot into this way. Instead of waiting for the full year, you've already struggled a lot to get all money at once, and you start wanting to do a major purchases or something just in a short time. So this one, slowly, it can be able to improve a lot of people's life, especially for the poor people like me. This will be able to help me a lot than waiting for the full year to get that amount. So some people can ask a question, especially immigrants. I'm not a US citizen. I'm not a green card holder. Do I qualify? I'm an international student. As long as you are taxpayer, as long as you work and they deduct your taxes, regardless of your immigration status, you'll be able to be given. Because if they take the money from your paycheck, obviously you enter the system of IRS. So you'll be able to get it. So even international students, if you have a child, because you file the taxes normal, if you have a child, you'll be able to get it regardless of the immigration status. Just like how the stimulus worked. If you paid the tax, you'll be able to get it, like you are a taxpayer, you'll be able to get the amount. So what if you are the DVLOTTERY winner? Or what if you just came here as international students and you have a child? Then they'll calculate the time you have been here, that they'll be able to calculate to see the time you have come into the system, you started working, and all other kind of things. So this is a very good system, by the way, in my opinion, and I give kudos to the government to come with this kind of way. But the only challenge which IRS have been able to say is they are working on the infrastructure to be in a position to provide it on the monthly basis. Because sometimes we say we're providing monthly basis, but will they be able to do that? Because there is certain way, are they going to pay the check, or they'll be doing the direct payment that way, or there are certain cards which they are called their cards. Some of the states they are studied to do the last one on the previous administration. They gave special cards to reload the money, just like as a testing. If something like this one comes, they'll be able to roll and just be able to do that way. I think New Hampshire and a few other states, or during the first pandemic relief, the stimulus, they use the cards. So I don't know whether they'll give the cards or to be direct payment, or they'll be sending the actual paper check. I don't know yet. Or they'll be, because at the beginning, they might not be able to do exactly from July, August, or which particular date they'll be able to send. They might send maybe 2 months in advance or whatever kind of that. But the plan will be on a monthly basis to do is a continuous check. So don't get confused that when they say there will be a monthly payment of about 200 per child, 250 per child above the age of 5. Don't assume that just because you're just a taxpayer, you don't have a child, you'll be able to be given that money. So it will be specific for people who qualify, and by qualifying, that means you have certain number of children, or you have 1 child and above in that particular situation. Okay, my advice, try to find a very good use of that amount of money. How are you going to invest? How are you going to use in a very productive way, instead of just taking that one and then just go, just each time the money comes, movie theater, just enjoying your life, whatever. Yes, you enjoy the life, but also don't forget to invest or maybe make the proper use of your money. So thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye.